A special Paris Motor Show coverage of the all-new Audi A4 in the sporty form. Here is the S5 Coupé, and we will also see the S5 Sportback. So this video is about Coupé versus Sportback. We'll show you the difference, especially as for the rear versatility, and talk about a lot of different details. Today's Setagway, we have this test vehicle at the moment also available for driving. So the driving review is also to follow very soon. Let's now focus on Coupé versus Sportback and also some more background on the interior build quality, which Audi has been famous for in the recent years. Let's go. Signature of the new front is that all of the lines are flowing towards the front grille. You see it right here, and this is the biggest change from the original model, which was introduced in 2007 by Walter da Silva, famous automotive designer. And the original A5 was one of my favorite design cars. Here it's of course a little bit newly designed, and I have to get used to it, I have to say, but the front grows new, especially with this huge single frame grille here in the S version with accentuated lower bumpers. What a crisp side profile we can see right here with this dropping line that goes all the way, you see, from the headlights all the way to the rear of the car. And that makes this car so beautiful because there are not so many design lines here, just a few, and we can see also how light and shadow are divided. Very beautiful. The S line, or also the S5, the true S model, also has this stronger side bumpers and bigger rims. 19-inch is the maximum usually, and we can always read on the tires because this one here says 20. I'm not quite sure because usually for the A4, A5 model, 19 is maximum. We also have 19 on our test vehicle at the moment mounted, but this one's here 20. Well, obviously in a special demand it's also available, but 19 will be enough, definitely. And what's also interesting here is that the door handles, they open a little bit to the upper side. Interesting feature also in a contrasting way. And then this is the Coupé style, so it means two doors, longer, about 6 centimeters shorter than the Sportback in the wheelbase and also in the length. Not too much of a difference. But of course we have a more beautiful line here. But let's look very soon at the Sportback if they can also manage to do that with 5 doors. But first of all, look to the rear with horizontally drawn tail lights. Now all available with LED technology. The rear view camera will be placed right here. Also this whole tail end has been made a little bit stronger if you compare the original generation of the A5 and in the S5. Massive exhaust, 1, 2, 3, 4 pipes. Let's get inside here again. Really unique how they created door handles right here. Long opening here for the Coupé and Coupé windows, of course. Then the interior here in the bright styling. The S Sport seats are the third level, and they are basically 3 seats. Standard seats for the A5. Then there are sport seats which come with the S5 and optionally S Sport seats with integrated headrests. Another look at them very soon. Here the cockpit, flattened lower part, structured on the left side, corner stitches on the inside. Carbon fiber is the scheme here in the S5, and in normal A5 you get aluminum, wood or also piano lacquer that is available there. The Bang & Olufsen sound system is mounted right here with Alcantara surface on the inside. We would like to see more Alcantara also on the seats. At least the sport seats can be got in the Alcantara in the middle and then leather on the outside. That's at least a step forward. You can lengthen the seating area. In general, the seats offer you a lot of space for a sports car, and you feel a little bit different than in the A4 indeed. You feel that the car is a little bit sportier also with this front pillar, although both cars are technologically pretty much identical. Then A lot of headroom still left, 1 meters 86 or 6'1" for my height. And overall, definitely a good and comfortable seating position. I've already driven the car now for the front passengers. Of course, the main question is also how much space will there be left in the rear. First of all, just a little bit more to the instruments, because there it is. Digital cockpit here, you do not have to get it, it's optional. And then you can have this 12.3-inch screen where you can have different view modes. Also, you can get the GPS information there. And here we also have Google Street View on the screen as a demo mode right now at the moment. So, and this would be then the GPS view. It looks a little bit attached, doesn't it? So, my favorite is here the climate unit. It's not powered at the moment, but with those Audi laboratory sounds. And we talk soon to a supplier from Audi, because we want to know more about how they can manage to keep up this extremely high build quality also with the buttons. Then let's get in the rear here, and you can see even on those sports seats, you can first of all flip them like this, and then there's an electric button, you can flip them a little bit to the front. But I want to remember how they were as I would be seating. It would be like this, and first of all, I want to get inside and then show you how much space there is left when I draw the seat back again, because that's a very relevant question. So it's of course not that easy to get inside here in the Coupé, and headroom-wise it is limited. I mean, I'm hitting my head on the ceiling. I can sit here as an adult still, but I would have to lean forward a little bit. Then if I got the seat back again, I think I would be driving like this, and it's still does work somehow. I've tested it. This would be approximately this position I could be still driving. So it does work with my knees. Surprisingly, this was a little bit increased, the knee room, if you compare it to the predecessor generation. That's a step ahead, but of course not the most versatile solution. Looking forward, how big is the difference really when we enter the Sportback? Then the trunk opens like this, flips out almost automatically, and for a mid-size coupe, very well usable. I was quite surprised by that. Here we find the battery. Could there be a full replacement tire? I doubt that. Maybe a smaller one. Then we can also flip the seats from here, and well, they don't fall down automatically, at least here, but here there's a split. It's very interesting. Like this. That's for the middle part, and well, the sides, they're just obviously released from here. They don't fall down automatically. You can push them from here. There they are, and then you got a quite versatile interior for such a coupe. More horsepower to this engine, 350 horsepower now from this V6, and the styling of this one here is of course the best match when you also have the red interior color, and got the acceleration then below 5 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers or 0 to 60 miles an hour. Pretty impressive. And you can also soon hear that engine on Autogefühl. And now to the crowded Sportback variant, and it's really amazing how much attention this car arouses just because it has 2 doors more. It's about 6 centimeters longer. Here it is also in the S version, so the S5 Sportback in this Nardo grey color, matte grey. Interesting finish, definitely. And of course, we want to know how does it look like from in front. Pretty much the same. But what about the side profile? There it is. The front door is a little bit shorter, as you can see right here. Then there's another door right here. And it's interesting is that the frame in the Coupe, for example, that is ending straight here and then going down like this. Here they've raised it a little bit up, like in an A7. So it looks like a smaller A7. And you can see they've still managed to give it a very elegant line. And look how crisp this design is here, still on the door, on the just right over the door handles. Very interesting. So I would like to know from you guys, which one, maybe scroll back to the Coupe, which one do you like best from the design? Coupe or this one? I do like the Coupe, but I also like this one. I'm not quite sure yet. Both have something. This one here looks a little bit more massive, a little bit more sovereign, although it's just 6 centimeters longer. But the Coupé looks a little bit sportier, definitely. But you cannot say that this one does not look sporty. So overall, I think they have managed it very well. And of course, the main difference will be in the interior as for the space. The trunk is about easier access. That means we have still a lot of space, even more a little bit, but the Coupé does offer a lot of space on the trunk. That's not it. But here, the access is really easy, and that is, of course, something that definitely speaks for the Sportback variant. So you don't have this limited hole to put all the stuff in. It's really the biggest advantage. Now to the interior of the S5 Sportback. They use animal skin surfaces here because they think that is the most luxury on display, which is not the case. Then let's take the seat, as this will be important for the rear part. The seat form itself is comfortable, although it's a sport seat with more comfort. Also, this diamond quilting has been beautifully done, but could also have been done with leatherette. Then that is one of the most attractive parts here. You can also have this matte aluminum style, very elegant and modern at the same time. I think I would even prefer that one over the carbon fiber style, definitely. So that one here for the front, it's basically all the same, of course, than in the Coupé version. The question is really, what do we have in the rear? And, excuse me, so I go through here right now, and yeah, exactly. So space in front of my knees here, so that's really way more comfortable. And for the headroom here, the rear raises a little bit in the ceiling, and that makes it possible that I can also sit here. So for me as a rear passenger, this is really perfect. 1m86 or 6'1". Really nice, and this does perfectly fit, and this is the big difference also to the S5 Coupé, if we can compare it here, Coupé and the Sportback variant. Here we can also have some armrest, some space right there, beverage holders maybe should be flipping out. Yeah, they should be right there. There, 1 and 2 beverage holders. There it is. So a very comfortable position here for a mid-size car, and if you want versatility, tall people in the rear, then you should go for the Sportback variant. I think in Germany maybe more people will go for the Sportback to have this flexibility and this estate-like hatch we can also see for the versatility here. That was very interesting, definitely here, and let's move back to the Coupé once more because we want to know more about the interior finishing. And also here we want to deliver you more background information on the interior, because the interior build quality is what Audi is recently made of, and of course they're relying on different suppliers for the different parts of the car. And Mark van Solingen is interior design director here for the seating at Forcia, and he knows more about how to keep up this quality. And maybe you can give us some examples what you have done here for the Audi A5, or in this case S5.
Well, thank you. If we speak here about the seats and the relationship we have with Audi, we speak about consistency, long-term working together on reaching the detail, especially in the quality in the details. Now, premium is all the details right, and technology brought in a very simple way, so that at the end you can appreciate all the little details on the seat, and that all together gives you this feeling of it's more, it's premium, it's something extra. But that means a long way working together to get all those details exactly where we want, and that's this relationship we have with Audi where we're really proud of, because that makes us delivering premium seats, and that is giving us also the learning together with them in making the best seats we can make.
For example, here in the S5 we got those sports seats, the optionally available sports seats mounted. But still, usually all of those sports seats are just focused on the driver. But you have left something out here on the rear of the seat. You can see that there's even some more space in the rear for the rear passengers. Was that intentionally?
Yes, of course. In the package of these sport cars, there's always not enough space for everything. So in these cars, the driver is the number one, but still you want to be able to bring someone comfortable with you. No, it's not a super sports car, it's a sports car where you can take people with you. And therefore we really design on the back of the seats everything to create still the maximum of knee room and to make people feeling comfortable and making people seeing also that we have thought about them and we did not completely forget it. Now that's the difference between pure sport cars and of course sport cars which are made by a brand like Audi, where it's more than just the driver.
How much more effort is it to produce parts for a premium car, and maybe you can quantify it somehow, like is there much more time involved, is there much more development involved? How can we conceive this difference?
That's a very good question, because actually that's exactly a big difference. You have Audi is very disciplined in their way of working on the long term. So we are very early involved, and from the day we are involved, we really know together what we want to achieve. That means it's a consistent, step-by-step approach to get this final seat on the level where we are. And that's helping a lot, because a lot of change in between the processes for nice features and nice things will also damage at the end the quality, and that's not what Audi is looking for and waiting for. They want to have everything done perfectly. But it's not only in general, it's also about all the underlying levers. No? The foam we have at Audi, the foams are dual density foams which are, let's say, designed really in a way that it's exactly giving you the support where you need it and giving you the softness where you need. And then if we all bring this together, that's at one hand, it's of course the final consumer who we are looking at and Audi is looking at to have the right foam, the right position. But then we have to bring it together in a way that it's also working, and all the sewing lines, etc., that we can guarantee that they are every time the same, that they every time parallel, and they every time bringing the right quality level. And especially with the sport seats, that's very important, because you see on the seats we have contrasting stitches, no stitches which are highlighting, and they are you see them immediately. If you make a mistake on one of those red seams, like for example in this sport version, you immediately would jump in your eye and you would, let's say, be disappointed by the quality. And that is really important, that everything is on the same level. And that's what I said before, it's about consistency. No, it's not about making one thing good and forget of the rest. No, Audi and the way of working with them is making every detail on the right level.
Thanks for this insight. Now we know more about how, just on each single part, the higher quality on the built interior here is achieved. And that's of course just one part of the car. Coupe or Sportback, it's up to you. Both of the cars, I think at the moment, one of the most beautiful cars overall on the market, even though I still have to get used a little bit to the new front, but still from design perspective, one of my favorites, and also from the interior build quality. From the versatility aspect, it's no question, go for the Sportback, and you won't have any big disadvantages because it's a little bit longer, just more advantages in the trunk and also on the rear seats. The question is the Coupe looking that much more sporty? We want to discuss this with you in the comments here on Autogefühl with Thomas, another special coverage from the Paris Motor Show, and check out the next video here with the exclusive coverages.